history as a program on campus is fantastic. It is an approach to history that is both the breadth and the depth.
There's a really unusual opportunity here in our department to study the history of the West more generally, California, and North America more broadly. A number of scholars who work in really exciting, innovative ways. Now, we cover an enormous range of options, and so we have specialists, many specialists, in the Middle East and South Asia, specialists in East Asia, in Africa, and many and a real strength in Latin America.
We have a very diverse alumni in the history department at UC Davis, and so we have students who go into law, they go into education, teaching, they get their PhD in history and go on to be professors. We also have students who go into museum curation, students who want to explore what it means to do public service and advocacy work, or even business and public health.
Because history provides a kind of a set of abilities that are transferable, it's a pathway into a number of different things. What does it provide? Ability to think clearly, think critically. The ability to read critically and to read clearly, to write critically, to speak clearly and critically. These are things that are central to almost all jobs that people go out into the workforce with.
Learning how to read analytically and read for, a specific purpose, and then being able to write about it and make an argument about something. I'd say that the books that you read kind of challenge some of your perspectives in ways about how we view history and how we, how the victors always write the history books.
There are people, who come in and they experience, I think of a senior, a student I had as a senior. And in the beginning of his senior year, he had not taken hardly any history classes. And he came in and he was like, I can't believe how exciting this is. He loved his old major, I don't mean that, but he was like, how do I do this?
I'm applying to law school with the goal of ultimately probably working for some kind of grassroots organization or doing advocacy. I'm really interested in, social change and civil rights and stuff like that. In terms of law school, probably studying constitutional law, civil rights, anything that can help me get out there and change things.
Our curriculum is very broad. We have the 3 different emphasis areas in the Bachelor of Arts, where students can study cultural anthropology, evolutionary anthropology, or a mix of both. And then we have our Bachelor of Science degree, which has curriculum in biology, chem, calculus, in addition to anthropology courses to really prepare students who may want to go the pre-health route or the forensics route and have more of that science coursework.
I'm part of the evolutionary anthropology wing, and which means that we are involved with a more scientific approach to doing anthropology, as opposed to, we do also have a sociocultural wing of the anthropology department that is more on the sort of humanities side. So I think one of the unique things that our program offers is this evolutionary approach to studying humans.
That's one thing that's really awesome about being an anthropology major, is that you really get to connect to your professors and your grad students, and you can always go and ask about things that you're interested in. So when I was a second year in college, actually, I connected with one of the professors here, Dr. Haas, and I told him, hey, I really want to be an archaeologist. I want to learn the skills that are needed. So he gave me an internship in his lab to work on software work with geographic information systems, which is like map making. And from there, I actually started doing a senior thesis, which I'm almost done with, and I'll be done with next quarter, and will hopefully be presenting at a conference.
So what can you do with your anthropology degree? There's lots of different fields that our undergraduates go into. Many of our students use anthropology as a way to get into medical schools, so there's an increasing interest in lots of medical fields to include a more humanistic approach to medicine and health.
So students who receive their Bachelor of Arts from our program go on to do a variety of different things. We have folks who go into the government sector and work for different state or federal agencies. We've had some alumni work for the Department of the Interior or the U.S. Forest Service. Those are some examples. We have students who go the nonprofit route, especially students maybe with the cultural anthropology emphasis.
I've always wanted to be an archaeologist since I was in 6th grade. And since I've been here for 4 years, I've learned exactly how to do that. So I do have a plan of going to grad school for South Asian archaeology at some point in my life. But I've always also wanted to explore teaching, especially teaching middle school students. So I'm also looking into that as a career plan, and I hope to do all of these things in my life.
Science and technology studies is everywhere around us, and this major allows people to explore what those relationships between science and technology and our society, our cultures, our laws, what those relationships look like. And so it's really broadly applicable. There's many paths for alumni to take, and I think that can be wonderful and it can be overwhelming too. And I love that in science and technology studies, there's so much support for people to navigate. Like, when you can do anything, what does that look like? So we have students who go into law and policy. For example, like becoming an attorney and specializing in intellectual property, which requires understanding whatever the technology is that you're working with and also understanding the laws and regulations surrounding it. We have students who go into journalism. We have students who go into public service and government work, public policy. We have students who go into medicine and public health, which is especially relevant right now. So it really, depends on the person's interests. Students in science and technology studies often double major. We have about, I think it's about 1/3 of our students who double major and another 1/3 of our students who do a minor. So what a student chooses to double major in or minor in, there's so many options. Advice I would give to an incoming student is really to just look for classes that are interesting to you and try them. There might be something that sounds so interesting, and then you might find that it's not quite what you imagine. And on the other side, be open to trying new things that you hadn't considered previously, because you might find an area of study that you never once considered, but once you try it, you find that you love it. So my advice is really just being open to exploration, open to trying different courses. And I would also recommend, make sure you're reaching out to academic advisors. We love getting to help people choose classes and help people getting to explore what the options are that exist.